Hi everyone, welcome to Bad Barry's Bar. As you know, I'm Bad Barry and this is Bad Barry's Bar, so come in and join us. I've got Christy with me this evening again. She's got a couple of stories for you later on. But I've got a story here to kick the session off. And this is about this fellow. He's an excellent worker, but he never goes to any of the company's get-togethers and fun evenings. So one day the boss calls him in and the boss said, look, you're a good worker, you get on well, but you never come to any of our special events for the staff. And the guy said, well, no, he said, I know so many people. He said that, to me, it just gets boring meeting a lot of other people in the company. And then he said, not that I don't just like the people, he said, but I just know everybody. And the boss thought, yeah, I bet he doesn't. So the boss said, well, if you know everybody, who do you know? He said, I know everybody. He said, I know all the famous people. And the boss said, well, give me a name of one. So he said, Tom Cruise. And the boss said, you know him? He said, yeah, he's an old friend of mine. So the boss said, well, listen, introduce me to him. So they get on a plane, they fly down to Los Angeles, you see, and they knock on Tom Cruise's door. Tom opens the door and he sees Dave. He said, Dave, my old friend, how are you? How are you doing? Good Lord, haven't seen you for ages. Come in and have a beer. So they have a get together, you see, and finish off, and they go back, and the boss thought, well, that's amazing. So he thought, that's probably just a one shot in, he just knows one person. So he said, well, who else do you know? You said you know everybody. He said, I know Donald Trump. He said, you know Donald Trump? He said, yeah. So on the plane, they go to Washington, you see, and they go to the White House and knock on the door and said, I want to see Donald Trump. And Trump's coming down the corner. He says, Dave, he said, what are you doing? Come in and have a drink. You're most welcome. Come in. So they go and have drinks, and the boss is really impressed with this. He thought, well, he does know a couple of people. I wonder if it's really true. He said, well, who else do you know? He said, I know the Pope. He said, no, you're not a religious guy. He said, how do you know the Pope? He said, known the Pope for years. Old friend of mine when I used to live in Italy for a while. The boss said, I've got to test this out. So they fly out to Rome, you see, and they go to the Vatican, and they can't get in there. The Swiss guard won't let them in. So Dave said to his boss, he said, look, you wait outside here. He said, they know me, they'll let me in. He said, and when the Pope comes out on the balcony to give the blessing, I'll come out with the Pope. He said, and you'll know that I know him. So the boss goes out into the big square there, you see, with all the crowd, and he's waiting for half an hour. Suddenly the doors open up on the side of the building there, and out comes the Pope with Dave. And whereupon the owner just faints. He can't believe this. He faints. Well, when Dave comes down after the blessing's been given, you see there's a crowd round the boss, and the boss is just coming to. And so he said to him, he said, what are you doing there? And the boss said, I just can't believe this. He said, it's just unbelievable. He said, I was here, standing here, he said, and I saw you come out with the Pope. And the guy next to me said, who's that guy with Dave? Another one I'll tell you that I thought was pretty good was about this Canadian guy. And he was always very, very interested in the history of the American Indian, the native Indians. And he'd always wanted to see one of the reservations. So one day he got in his car and drove, thousands of miles down to Arizona, drove across the desert and got to an Indian reservation. And when he got in, he got out the car, he's walking around, and he meets an old Indian chief, and he starts talking to him. And he said to the chief, you've been here a long time. He said, oh yes, he said, this is now my tribal lands. He said, and the guy said, I bet you can go back in history. The Indian chief said, I remember everything in my life, way back. And the guy thought, that sounds strange. So he said to him, okay, he said, if you remember everything, he said, what did you have for breakfast on your 50th birthday? And the Indian chief said, I had eggs. He was amazed. Well, about 10 years later, he went back to this reservation again, see how things were going, get a bit more information. And lo and behold, he meets this old Indian chief, you see, and he goes up to him with his hand up and he says, how? And the Indian chief said, fried. All right, well now for something better. Now, my granddaughter Christina's got a story or two for you. Okay, Christina, floor is yours.
What did one broke hooker say to the other?
One
broke hooker?
One broke hooker said to the other.
Yeah. She said, can I borrow $10 until I'm on my back again? And then what do a bungee jump and a hooker have in common?
A bungee jump and a hooker.
They're both cheap, fast, and if the rubber breaks, you're pretty much screwed.
Oh, God. Oh, well, that's your session for today, folks. Stay safe. Press the like button if you liked it, and the subscribe button if you want to be on our list, you know, so we know that you're interested. And if you want to comment at all, there is a comments section. We're very interested in any comments you may have, ways we can improve, things that you would like to hear about, and we'll do our best for you. No problem. And if you want to email us, it's badbarrysbar@gmail.com. Be pleased to hear any comments you may have. You can email us and we'll email you back. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.